Hello, Peaceful Valley Church. We gathered today through the internet. We are looking forward to being together for real someday, hopefully soon. I hope you're even kind of chomping at the bit to get together. We really do want to be spending time together. That's what the church is supposed to do. And so during our time of devotions today, I'm hoping that we can remember we're a part of God's people. And with that, I want to turn to Psalm chapter 87. I want to be in Psalm 87 today. We're going to read the whole chapter. It's 7 verses, good verses. Psalm 87 is where the psalmist is calling his fellow Israelites, his brothers and sisters. They are part of the people of God. He calls them the people of Zion, the people of Jerusalem, and he identifies the city as something special. These people who gather together in this place. For the Old Testament saint, Jerusalem was the place where God had decided to make his presence known. That's the city that bore his name, if you will. And the psalmist is there to remind the people who are listening, you are identified with this group of people. Psalm 87, a psalm of the sons of Korah, a song. On the holy mount stands the city he founded. The Lord loves the gates of Zion more than all the dwelling places of Jacob. Glorious things of you are spoken, O city of God. Selah. Among those who know me, I mention Rahab and Babylon. Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Cush. This one was born there, they say. And of Zion it shall be said, this one and that one were born in her. For the Most High himself will establish her. The Lord records as he registers the peoples. This one was born there, Selah. Singers and dancers alike say, all my springs are in you. See, the psalmist recognizes that to be a person of Jerusalem is to be a person of God. And really what he's getting at is that they are the people of God. Yeah, the city, it's really the people who are of that city. And he's recognizing that God had called them his own. He's talking about identity here. He's talking about the safety and the place that those who are loved by God have. To the point that as God was recording them in his book, his personal journal identifying, these are my children. I know that one. This one's mine. I've taken this one, and I've loved this one, and I've made this one mine. Brothers and sisters, this is the character of our God. He knows his people. He knows each one individually. He knows each one personally. He knows their names. He knows their attributes. He knows their characteristics. He knows their flaws. He knows their abilities. He knows his people. And we have this picture of him recording them in his book, in his journal, so that he will never forget. Now, God doesn't have a journal. He doesn't need a journal. He remembers everything perfectly. His knowledge is perfect. And so what that tells you and I is, if you belong to God, he knows you perfectly. You can never slip from his mind. He sees you right where you're at. He knows exactly what you're going through, whether it's a good day or a bad day, whether you're involved in a successful activity or maybe one that seems more like a failure. God knows you, and he's with you. And we also see in the Psalms that when God's people are known by God, and they are satisfied in their relationship with God in that way, they even go out into the world, and the world recognizes them as being one of God's people, right? These other places, Philistia, Tyre, and Cush, these foreigners, they could even look and say, yeah, that man, that woman, that's a person of Jerusalem. That's a person of Yahweh, of God. Likewise, you and I, when we are satisfied in our relationship with God, when we know that he loves us and that he sees us, we tend to live the kind of life where people look at us and say, yeah, that guy right there, that woman right there, that's a person of God. That's a person who loves Jesus. When we have that kind of a relationship, it changes the way that we go through life. So today, maybe you're in that place where you are so satisfied that you're ready to engage in life and show the world that you belong to Jesus. But maybe you're not quite at that step yet. Maybe you're discouraged and maybe you're broken. And you're wondering, does God know you or does God see you? If you are saved, if you're a believer, He does see you. And be encouraged. He knows where you're at. And He has called you His own, and you are safe in His hands and loved in His heart. Now, if you're not a believer, if you don't know God, and you're wondering, does God know me? Today is the day to seek Him. Today is the day to accept the sacrifice of Jesus Christ for your sins, that you might become a part of the people of God. And that maybe even today is that day where God writes on His list, on His journal, I know this one. This one's mine. I've chosen this one. Today could be a really special day in that way. Whatever it is, may we all find ourselves today on that list and take satisfaction and joy and peace in knowing God knows us. May God be with us today and strengthen us with this knowledge. Have a good day, Peaceful Valley Church. Goodbye.